Yeah, that is super interesting. I think it's inevitable, right? Like eventually everyone's gonna have to adopt it, whether one way or another. And this is kind of what I try to tell people. You're gonna benefit a lot more if you get in today or very, very soon, rather than waiting until you're being forced to being adopted through whatever your pension ETF or whatever vehicle it comes through and gets pushed towards them. But I want to touch something a little bit more personal with you there, Cole. While I have you here, I know you're a musician, a singer, a rapper. I wanted to ask you, have you ever incorporated Bitcoin into any of your music?
Yeah. I promote Bitcoin in my music. I'm very open about accepting Bitcoin donations, and yeah, we'll accept Bitcoin tickets, of course. But I promote Bitcoin to every single person I meet, whether it's event promoters, anyone in the audiences and stuff like that. That's how I incorporate that. And whenever someone asks me, "What do you do for a living?" It used to be construction management in the tower construction industry, but now it's just Bitcoin, right? So that comes up a lot. It's very easy for me to bring up Bitcoin in every single conversation that I well, almost every conversation. It's very easy to bring it up every time because people ask, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" Like that question comes up a lot in conversation, and there we go. Bitcoin comes up. Yeah,
Right, right. So do you kind of just say I work into Bitcoin, or like what's your quick? How do you say it?
yeah, exactly. So I say that I started in Bitcoin in 2015. It was like late 2014, like early 2015, that kind of area. But that kind of era. But I didn't really take it that seriously until more recently.
Hmm.
And I kind of in
Right.
2018 when Bitcoin tanked in value, I thought it was a scam because I just didn't understand it. I thought the price going down meant that it was a scam. I didn't know what I was talking about. So I tell people that I transitioned to Bitcoin full time essentially in 2021, where I bought a lot of mining machines, was making enough income from mining at that time, and then yeah, I transitioned to Bitcoin full time in 2021. That was like my breaking point from the 9 to 5 lifestyle.
I was actually talking to somebody else, a girl in her I think young 20s yesterday, and so sort of like what you just said. Oh, because I thought the price was going down, I thought it was a scam, and like that's the vibe I totally got from this person. Like, oh, isn't that going down lately? Hasn't Didn't that go down? And I said, I don't know. It's at 68,000 right now, and the all-time high is 73. So I'm like, if you think that it's down, I guess it's down very short term, but it's very close to all-time high. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like people that like say that, like there's like a part of them that want it to be like a scam or something like that. Like oh, it's down, so it's a scam or something. But as the years go by, we see things being priced less and less when you measure it in Bitcoin. So the proof is in the pudding. Ninth, I think, was it the ninth biggest asset in the world right now? Gold's number one. We got Microsoft and whatever, silver in between, and Nvidia and all that stuff. And Bitcoin's already the ninth biggest asset. I like to emphasize that point too. What are the challenges that you find in this space, or CoinOS in general?
Yeah, the challenges I would say is that most people are still skeptics. Over 95% of the people that we encounter are skeptics. On average, it's like, yeah, over 95%. So when I'm onboarding or when I'm approaching businesses, trying to onboard them with Bitcoin payments, the failure rate is about 90%, 95% failure rate because a lot of them just wave it off. They don't get it, right? And it's important that when we talk to merchants, we
Yeah.
tell them the bullet points up front that most skeptics are concerned about, which is accounting and the negative volatility. Those are the two biggest things that come up when merchants are concerned or when they are skeptical about Bitcoin. I tell them that the accounting aspect is made very easy with CoinOS. You go to your transaction history screen, you press the clock icon, and then on your transaction history screen, there's a button that says export. You press the export button, and it gives you your Microsoft Excel spreadsheet file with all of your transactions listed, like and it gives you a total in the column, the amount of money that you made in Canadian dollars that month as a business. It's very easy for any accountant or bookkeeper with basic skills. I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a financial advisor or anything. So consult your professional accountant first before actually following through with what I'm saying. But I am telling you, based on my experience, the accounting is not that complicated with Bitcoin, especially when you have a transaction history screen like CoinOS has that auto populates all your transactions for you on the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And then when the topic of negative volatility comes up, you just let them know when in doubt, zoom out. Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the history of mankind, percentage wise from when it started. Okay. It's the greatest hedge against inflation that mankind has ever seen. And Bitcoin made it to $1 trillion market cap faster than Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Google, right? And people don't really know those things, but Bitcoin beat them to $1 trillion market cap. I'm saying faster, like it made it to $1 trillion market cap faster than the Fed stocks. So there's some things I say to the skeptics.
That's a really good point, and probably something I'm going to add to my repertoire is what you just said about, how quickly it's gone to $1 trillion market cap. I often cite where it stands right now in market cap in the top 10, like compared to, gold being one and all the rest of them. But that's a good point, how quickly it's actually gotten to $1 trillion market cap. And I'll probably do a little bit of follow up so I could be very specific about that, because I like that. I like that talking point, actually. I'm going to switch gears real fast again and ask you another personal question about your music and your music ambitions. If you were to collaborate with one other artist in the world, living or dead, who would it be?
Holy, that's a good question. And it totally puts me on the spot. Soft skills got to kick in now. No, it's good. It's good.
Well, do you have yeah?
Well, so what artist would I want to collaborate with? I mean, of course, there's like a big list. I'd love to collaborate with all kinds.
Definitely.
Yeah, like the rapper, and
NF, okay. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with. I've heard a little bit of. I'm not overly familiar with all his music, but I've definitely heard some tracks and has been recommended to me. But you're probably a lot deeper into the rap and hip hop culture than I am. I'm like Kendrick Lamar and Eminem guy. That's it, basically.
yeah, I think Eminem is the best rapper ever. That's just my opinion. Don't hate me for it. I think he is the best rapper. And there's multiple different reasons why. It's not just
Yeah.
not only can he spit like crazy, like he can push bars like has anyone else like pushed bar like rapped as fast as him so consistently. There is other rappers that have rapped fast, but as much as him. So that's just one thing. And the fact that he's been so consistent since 8 Mile, like he's still putting out hits over that long of a period of time, and then he overcame his addiction. Like when you put all those things together, I think he's the best rapper ever. It's just my opinion, right? There's other rappers that are good.
Oh man, I 100% agree with you. I've been listening to nothing but the Death of Slim Shady album since it came out. Just what was that, a couple weeks ago?
Cool.
Have you taken a listen to that
I
yet?
haven't, no, but that sounds really interesting. I might want to check it out. Thanks for the tip on that. I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah. He just dropped a new album. There's some good songs on there for sure. Do a good. It's pretty hardcore. Like he's definitely pushing the envelope like he always does. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I was looking at Spotify like a week or two ago, and it was like the whole entire album was like trending in the top 50 on Spotify. I think there's only maybe some of the better tracks on there now, but yeah, no, that's really cool. So NF, that's a cool decision. I'm gonna go a little deeper into NF since you said that. Yeah, what do you have any what do you guys like immediate plans? Do you have any bigger conferences? I know you're not in Nashville this week, are you?
No, no, not at all. No. I went to the Bitcoin conference last year in Miami. It was a really fun time. Met a lot of really cool people. But we do have to answer your question. The answer is yes. We do have plans on having more of a presence, more events, more conferences. And that's why I'm a public speaker on a regular basis, not only with Bitcoin, but overall like financial education. I get invited to speak at certain other organizations. And when I'm there, I emphasize the value of Bitcoin. Of course, that's why I brought that up just now, because everything always trails back to the value of Bitcoin. But sometimes you have to talk about something different than Bitcoin to steer people's attention to the value of Bitcoin, right? Some people are going to be closed-minded right off the bat if you just mention Bitcoin first. So at some events that I'm invited to be a speaker at, I will talk about something else and then weave my way into Bitcoin. So I'm going to be a speaker at the Victoria Bitcoin conference coming up, and Gabe, who's BTC Advisors on Twitter, he's going to be there as well. I'm looking forward to see him, and I'm looking forward to seeing other Ontario Bitcoiners as well to the Victoria BTC conference. And we are actively, as CoinOS, we are actively sponsoring many local meetups as well, such as the Bitcoin block party coming up that I told you about earlier. We are, then me going to Toronto in a couple weeks. I'm also going to be able to connect with more people there as well, establishing more of a presence and having me there in physical form, meeting people. That will help as well.
Do you have any favorite resources or books or podcasts in this space?
Absolutely, my favorite Bitcoin YouTuber, which is Bitcoin University.
Okay.
The name of his YouTube channel, Bitcoin University. His name is Matthew Tracker. He is my number one favorite. His videos are like on average 10 minutes or less, full of really helpful information. He posts one almost every day, and the information he provides is so helpful and crucial for everybody. Even if you don't hold Bitcoin, the stuff he talks about is so crucial for everyone to know. Regarding a book that I recommend, I would say,
Wow. Okay, I'm just checking them out.
yeah, for a book, I would say Thank God for Bitcoin. That is my number one Bitcoin recommended book. It has Robert Breedlove as one of the contributing authors. It has a lot of really cool information about Bitcoin. It shows you, it explains how Bitcoin is actually a very moral money and how immoral fiat is in the banking system. So I really like how the book focuses a lot on that. And it talks about inflation a lot as well. So that's my number one favorite book, I would say.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. I just was checking that out on Amazon too. Yeah, there's a lot of good resources being built around this space, and people are very willing to educate. So, love the Bitcoin community, and appreciate your advice on that one. What is there anything else, and any like big catalyst you think is going to happen this going into the cycle that might push Bitcoin into maybe hyper Bitcoinization or higher prices, or do you have what do you think Bitcoin might go to this
What
cycle?
made me really bullish was, remember Balaji? He made that. He used to be an executive at, I think it was CoinOS. And
Right,
he made that
right.
$1 million bet that Bitcoin would reach a certain height in price in like 3 months after he made that bet. And that made me really
Okay.
bullish on Bitcoin, not because I thought he was going to be right. He knew he wasn't going to be right when he made that bet. So he believes Bitcoin will have hyperinflation. Well, Bitcoin's price will be affected by hyperinflation on a really big scale. I think that will happen. The fact that Bitcoin went to new all-time highs before the halving is way more bullish than I expected. I did not expect that. So I think we are getting ready for a pretty big bull run with Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to be as big as people assume it is, though. Some people are calling for $250,000 Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to get that high this cycle. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. So with inflation, and when the US dollar goes down in value, meaning losing buying power, losing your purchasing, then the price of Bitcoin will go. So that's why I follow the DXY, the US dollar index. Usually, when the DXY goes down, risk assets go up. So stocks and crypto. It's not exact. It's not black and white perfect, but it does perform that way in many cases. So I do see the US having to print a lot of money very soon because their debt, they're at 34.9 billion now, I think, something along those lines. That's how much debt the US has. Their debt payment this year is going to be like $1 trillion just to maintain their debt. So they are going to have to continue to print money on a very big scale in the near future. And when they do that, that's going to make risk assets go up. Risk assets are going to dump right after money, right when the money printing happens. When you look at when that happens, risk assets dump and then they go up after that big dump initially, after the money printing. So money printing is a little bit of a lagging effect. It's not immediate. So I do think Bitcoin will pass 100K, but I don't know how much farther it's going to go than 100K, even with the hyperinflation that is going to enter. Even with hyperinflation, it's going to. That's what I can say. I can say I don't think it's going to go nearly as low as the previous bear market because of the way the Bitcoin structure works. There's just more and more holders being built over time. The only reason Bitcoin went below the 2017 all-time high this past cycle was because of the black swans there. There's multiple other blockchains that fell, Celsius and stuff, and FTX. But those things, that's what made Bitcoin go below the previous all-time high, the previous cycle. So I don't think Bitcoin's ever going to touch 20K ever again. I mean, don't hold me to it. I'm just guessing. That's what I can say.
Yeah, no, that's a very modest prediction. I've had a lot more and very, very educated people, in my opinion, say like crazy bullish predictions sound very modest, and you're kind of in line with what I say too to people. You don't want to oversell it and get that disappointment, right? So over 100K, I think for sure. Do we hit 200K? I don't know about that. Let's just wait and see. I'm not here to spoil anyone's dreams of Bitcoin going to 200-300K this cycle, but like you said, I hope I'm wrong. And hopefully we have some crazy hyper Bitcoinization going on. It's coming to the forefront of politics now. We're talking, the U.S. has the political election this year, so that there's gonna be more money spending, and things just might line up pretty good here at the end of the year. So I'm pretty excited for it. Was there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to emphasize today? That we haven't talked, or any questions for me? If not, maybe I'll just ask you to let us know where we can follow you guys, where we can follow you and learn more.
Absolutely. Yeah, our website is just coinos.io. You can see it in my name there. You can see it in my name here on the podcast. When you go there, you can scroll to the very bottom and click our link tree. Our link tree will give you all of our social media links all on one page. I recommend that you check us out on all of our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter. We're on Telegram. We have a Geyser fund as well for crowdfunding. And we are always hosting meetups in Vancouver, as I mentioned before. Please check us out on our meetup group. Our meetup group link is on our link tree. Meetup.com/Bitcoin privilege is our meetup group. And when you go to our homepage, you can create an account with CoinOS in 15 seconds. You just go to coinos.io. You press that one button that says start in seconds. Create a random username, random password. No KYC. Like, takes 15 seconds, 30 seconds, depending how fast you are with your phone. CoinOS is a web app, so you don't actually need to install anything. You just go to coinos.io and then click and drag that and then to your home screen as a bookmark. So now you have it as a bookmark on your home screen of your phone or your tablet, giving you the same effect as an app, but it's not actually an app on the App Store. The fact that it's not an app on the App Store gives you more freedom to use it in other countries. There's been multiple people who have been using Bitcoin apps in other countries, and the App Store wouldn't allow them to use that. And that wouldn't allow them to be used if they already had it downloaded, because certain IP addresses get detected in other countries and don't allow you to use North American apps. So now we have CoinOS, where it's a web app, coinos.io. When you're in a different country that won't allow your app to be used because it detects your IP address. I've heard of some people even trying to use their VPN on their phone, and that still didn't work. So the solution is use CoinOS. Go to your web browser, Chrome or whatever you want, coinos.io. You're on a web page, not the App Store. And then you sign into your CoinOS account on the web page. So we are a web app. And CoinOS is completely open source. You can find our GitHub on the GitHub, and you can use our code in any way that you want. We are actually open source. Other people have been using our code before. And Francis, who's the CEO of Bull Bitcoin, he actually was using his own instance of CoinOS back in 2014, 2015. He has his GitHub posted there.
Wow.
So yeah, so you can use CoinOS open source. We have a Shopify plugin. You can use CoinOS on your online store as well. And the Shopify plugin works very easily. I've used it many times at various online merchants. Lightning, when you're on the shopping cart screen, you press continue to checkout, you select Bitcoin, select Lightning, and then the Lightning QR code pops up. You scan that with your Lightning wallet, big green check mark. It's super easy. And yeah, we have a merchandise store, coinosmerch.com. That's all on our link tree. Our link tree link is at the bottom of our homepage I mentioned. And yeah, follow us on Twitter. And one of the biggest things actually is connect with us on Telegram. And when you go to a Bitcoin merchant, take a picture of what you bought, post that in the Telegram chat and say, hey, everyone, I was just at this store and I spent Bitcoin on this. Thanks, CoinOS, or just say using my CoinOS wallet, something like that. Because Telegram has very organic and high quality engagement, in my opinion.
Cool, man. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to put the word about that. And, we want to get, our CoinOS new users around here up there and be able to keep spreading that adoption, man. I think you guys are doing great work over there, man. You're very good and eloquent at, spreading the sweet gospel of Bitcoin and orange pilling people. So I had definitely a few great things that I've taken away from you, Cole, and I hope we can connect when you're in Toronto. And thanks for giving us a lot to digest in this podcast, man. Thanks so much for doing this.
Sounds good, Brad.